Let's look at solving equations with letters on both sides. So to do this, we need to move the letters all to one side and the numbers to the other side before we can solve. So if you look at this first example, we have x on both sides here. Now, if we were to move this, I would say move the smallest x. So when you look at this, you have 2x and negative 3x. Well, negative 3x is smaller than a positive 2x, so that's the one we're going to move. And to do that, we're going to balance this out, so I'm going to add 3x to both sides. Remember, both sides of that equal sign. And when I do that, 2x plus 3x gives me 5x equals the 15, I didn't do anything to, and negative 3 plus 3 cancel out and become 0. Then the last step, 5 times something equals 15, or I can do the opposite. Remember, there's an invisible times sign between the 5 and the x, so we're going to divide by 5 both sides. 5 divided by 5 is 1x, so we can write x equals 15 divided by 5 is 3, so x equals 3. Let's look at example number 2. So now we have a few more things. We have letters and numbers on both sides. Now again, if we move the smallest x, we have less negatives to deal with. So we have 3x, well, move the smallest y, so move the smallest letter. So we have 3y and 1y. So 1y is smaller, so I'm going to do the opposite of adding 1y. I'm going to subtract y from both sides of the equal sign, right? Left-hand side, right-hand side. So we got to balance it out. Think of it like a scale. 3y minus y gives me 2y plus 2 equals 10. Y minus y, those cancel each other out, and we're just left with a 10 on that side. Now, this is very similar to our two-step equations, so we're going to solve as we normally would. We're going to subtract 2 from both sides of the equal sign. We're left with 2y. 2 minus 2 is equal to 0, so those cancel each other out, equals 10 minus 2, which is 8. And we're looking at this, well, 2 times, don't forget there's an invisible times sign, 2 times y equals 8. Let's do the opposite of multiplying by 2. We're going to divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 gives me 1y equals 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Let's look at one more example. So example 3. So here we're going to move the smallest letter. Again, it's going to be the 1x is smaller than 3x. So let's subtract 1x from the positive 1x, and we'll do it to the other side. Remember, both sides of the equal sign. 3x minus x gives me 2x plus 1 equals x minus x, those cancel each other out, become 0, and then we can just write 7. Now we'll solve as we normally would. So we're going to balance. We're going to get rid of the 1 first, so take away 1, which is the opposite of adding 1, from both sides, that equal sign. So we're left with 2x, because we haven't done anything to that. 1 minus 1 cancels out and becomes 0. I don't need to write that down. Equals 7 minus 1. 7 minus 1 is 6. Well, 2 times x equals 6. We might know the answer already. If not, we'll do the opposite and we'll divide both sides by 2. So we're left with x equals 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Now pause the video and try example 4, 5, and 6. And then press play when you're ready for the answers. Here are our answers. So if we look at question 4, or example 4, we were doing the opposite of taking away 2a, which was adding 2a. So we're going to add 2a to both sides. And then we would just solve as normal. We get a equals 6. Now if we look at example 5, Same thing, we're going to start by taking away or subtracting 3x from both sides. And then you notice your answer is negative 9 over 2. Now you can leave it as negative 9 over 2, or you can divide that and it's negative 4.5. And example 6. Here you notice the smallest letter was on your left-hand side. So we can move that first, still the smallest letter. So we're going to subtract 2z from both sides, and then we're left with 3 equals 3z plus 9. And I will just subtract 9 from both sides, and then divide by 3, and I'm left with negative 2 equals z, which you can just rewrite as z equals negative 2. And that's how you solve equations with letters on both sides.